hand and we'll get you unmuted. And we're starting here with Jeff Metcalf with the Arizona Republic, followed by Alex Simon.
When you do something like what happened on Tuesday night, and then you come back and you're in a similar situation, trying to come back and win a game, how much does one feed into making it happen again?
Well, I think when you're in those situations, your ability and understanding that you were able to do it once, and like we talked about in last post-game media, we found a way to do it. We dug deep. We got some defensive stops when we needed to. And then on the offensive end, we made plays happen. And so when we sat down and we looked at the clock and we said, look, we're down 10 going into the fourth. And that kind of continued to progress a little bit. At one point, we were like, 7 minutes. It's 10 points. We came back from that with 2 minutes left. So we've got time to do this. And we just have to do it from the defensive end. And I think that's where we did it again. We got our stops. Skylar did a great job with BG and Breezy in that pick and roll situation. And towards the end of the fourth, the middle of the fourth, the beginning of the fourth, getting downhill and making plays. And so the best part about having that situation is that we got through it once. We knew how to do it again, and we did.
And talking about Skylar, I mean, it felt for a while there like, you know, she was just going to do it single-handedly, which of course is not true. But I mean, she was just pretty dynamic there in the fourth and even into overtime.
100%. Skylar was fantastic tonight. And it was just her ability to get downhill, make reads, finish some really tough contested shots that I think she probably could have got a couple foul calls on as well. But that's who she is. She's a competitor. When she steps onto the court every single time, she plays with her heart and she plays with everything that she has. So grateful that she's on my team now, because I've played against that for a number of years. But you have to give her all the credit. If we understand that if we run something and it works, keep going back to it till they can stop it. And they couldn't stop her, so we kept going back to her.
Next up, we have Alex Simon with the next.
Yeah, at that timeout when you guys were down 13 with like 7.5 left, it seemed like BG was really animated in that timeout. I saw her kind of standing up and talking, and even when Sandy came in. What was she saying in that timeout? And then it seemed like that kicked in quite a spark for you guys.
Well, I think she was just talking about the little things that we were doing that we needed to just slow down and make reads on. It was more of a calming, if you could see it, she's animated, yes, but she's really calming when she does that. And it's so, we were just talking about, look, we've done this before, like I said, and we came back with less time. We've got a ton of time to do this. Let's set good screens. Let's make good reads, keep our defensive standard as much as possible. And she was just talking about some of the adjustments we were making defensively, saying, if you do this, I'm going to do this. You help me here, I'll help you there. And so we just kind of talked our way through it. And BG does that for us. She's been pretty calming, especially in this first part of the season that I've finally got the opportunity to play with her. And so that was really good for us.
And to be at the quarter point, I think this is 6 of the 8 games that have been, single possession or that close down the stretch here. I assume, the heart maybe could use a little bit of a respite from these, but at this point, does it feel like you're building up quite the confidence in handling these situations?
Well, I think anytime you have the ability to close out a game and do it successfully, that's great, because you're going to learn things from mistakes that you're making. Obviously, we made some mistakes in that overtime period as well, but we were finding ways to get that back, whether it was on offense or defense. And so I think all of us would love our hearts to have a little bit more of a break and not have to deal with another close one anytime soon. But like I said, you can get those under your belt and you can gain that experience. And I mean, we have one of the best closers in the game in Diana Taurasi, who's sidelined right now. We're still being able to get this done. So it's just helping build the experience and the chemistry as we continue to move forward. And then we bring D back in.
All right, next up, we have Doug Feinberg with the AP.
Hey, Kia, I guess I got to ask first, did you hit the half-court shot today in shoot-arounds?
I did. I did the Euro again, and I hit it again. But then BG also hit hers, so we had a shootout, and she ended up winning. But that was the first time I actually hit it. It was nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just to ask, I mean, BG, you seem to try to get her involved earlier more than last game, and I think you'd mentioned that is something you guys had to do. How big is that to establish her to make your life easier and Skylar and everyone else's life easier when she's being effective in the paint and scoring for you guys?
Well, that's big for us. Obviously, BG is always going to be a point of emphasis every single game, because every single game she's going to have a mismatch because she's so dominant in the post and her skill set is so great. And so for us to establish her as early as we did and wanted to keep going to her was really important. We knew with Chicago, they wanted to send a bunch of traps. They would send the doubles from the other post player and try and come early. So I think she did a really good job today of just being patient and finishing through contact, coming off those pick and rolls. She's got great hands, and she did a good job of making a bunch of different reads. So for us, because we have so much talent and because we're able to use so many different offensive weapons, we're going to feed the hot hand every day. And BG is always going to be one of our points of emphasis to get her going early.
All right, that's actually all the time we do have for Kia. Thanks for the time.
Of course.